travelers from every corner of the world, a very warm welcome. If you're here, it's because you're tired of the meta, those same teams everyone uses, clearing the abyss with the exact same recipe. What we enjoy is challenge, surprise, and today, we're diving straight into the elite circle of the Ultra-Niche. These 7 characters are ones that very few players truly push to their limits because they require heavy investment and extremely precise strategy. But when you manage to build them correctly, the reward is insane. They're the Swiss Army knives of Teyvat, useless in a basic kitchen, but absolutely essential for a dish worthy of high gastronomy. So buckle up, because this ranking might make you rethink your entire box and unlock a brand new way to enjoy your favorite game. We start with a classic, but not the way you think. Diluc, the early game Pyro DPS, had hit rock bottom. But with the arrival of Xianyun, our nocturnal vigilante suddenly gets a chance to return to the spotlight. Diluc's niche is incredibly specific. The Plunge Build, a complete resurrection of the character. The synergy is surgical. Xianyun massively buffs his plunge attack. Bennett gives that crazy flat attack boost. And Furina, with her burst, stacks damage bonuses so that the only hit that matters, Diluc's max level plunge attack, turns into a literal nuclear explosion. Forget elemental mastery here. You're going all in on attack percent, crit rate / damage, and pyro damage bonus, most often using the Marichaussee Hunter set, which is excellent because Diluc constantly loses and regains HP thanks to Furina and Bennett. This build is ultra-niche because it requires 3 very specific 5-star supports. But it proves one thing. You can speedrun with the very first DPS everyone abandoned, while keeping that old-school style, supercharged by the new meta. In short, Diluc hasn't said his last word, and something tells us he'll shine even more as this trend of reworking old characters continues, especially the ones from Mondstadt. We move on to Fontaine with Escoffier, the Cryo Chef. People see her as a mid-Cryo sub-DPS. Huge mistake. She's the perfect example of a multi-role support that juggles attack scaling. She shines because she's basically the perfect toolbox for freeze or mono-cryo teams. Her skill summons a mechanical culinary assistant off-field, what the community calls her mech, which deals continuous cryo damage. Where she becomes ultra-niche is that her whole kit is a cryo plus hydro puzzle. Her burst heals the entire team, and yes, the healing scales on attack, just like Jean. And her passive applies a massive cryo and hydro resistance shred, as long as you have 3 or 4 cryo / hydro characters in the team. She creates the synergy of the niche. To maximize her role, you prioritize attack percent for both damage and healing, and energy recharge to guarantee that burst and shred every rotation. If you want maximum off-field damage, the Golden Troop set is perfect. She shines in a comp like Ayaka / Shenhe / Furina, because she acts as both a healer for Furina and a cryo residential shredder, turning Ayaka into a precision laser blade. She's literally the specialty dish for players who enjoy optimization through elemental restriction. Faruzan is the definition of a niche support. Below C6, she's complicated. But at C6, she becomes a coffee machine for a Nemo DPS, a literal necessity in this niche. She is the hyper-specialized mono Nemo support that every Xiao or Wander player dreams of. Anemo damage is notoriously difficult to buff, but Faruzan fixes that. Her burst does 3 essential things. It gives a massive flat Anemo damage bonus. It applies sustained Anemo resistance shred. And at C6, it generates a huge amount of energy for her teammates. She's literally the magic potion for Xiao or Wander. But be careful, she is insanely energy hungry. Her ER needs to be astronomical, often above 280 to 300%. So she is usually run with Viridescent Veneer or a high ER set. It's niche, because if you aren't running a meta Anemo DPS, you'll never use her. But if you are, she increases their damage by 40 to 60%, which absolutely justifies the resource-heavy investment. Continuing with another underrated specialist, we have Chiori, the couture designer of Fontaine. People judged her off-field Geo DPS as too weak, that is, until they read the tiny little line at the bottom of the contract. She is actually the perfect conditional off-field Geo sub-DPS for mono Geo teams. Her entire secret revolves around summoning the double Tomoto doll, effectively doubling her damage contribution. To trigger that, you must have an active Geo construct on the field, whether it's Zhongli's Pillar, Albedo's Flower, or the Traveler's Resonance construct, right when she uses her skill. Her damage scales on both attack and DF, but DF percent gives far better returns, especially when she's built with the Golden Troop set, obviously. She is niche because she basically demands a Zhongli or an Albedo in the team. But in a mono-Geo hypercarry setup, Itto plus Goru plus Zhongli plus Chiori, she stops being just a sub-DPS. She becomes the fourth pillar of constant Geo damage, providing a stable, stylish, and surprisingly powerful source of off-field DPS. Now shifting from Geo-engineering to Cryo-engineering, we get Shenhe, one of the most misunderstood characters in the game. She is more than a support. She is Teyvat's cryo-engineer. If you're trying to play her for personal damage, you've missed her entire purpose. Her niche is being the most specific and restrictive cryo support in the game, entirely built around amplifying damage through icy quill feathers. Every feather adds a chunk of damage scaled from Shenhe's attack directly to the cryo hits of your DPS. But the catch and the niche is that the feathers are limited in number, meaning she doesn't want a cryo DPS who spams attacks nonstop. She wants characters who hit hard and clean, like a Ganyu burst or Ayaka's rotation. To build her, you simply stack attack percent and energy recharge, since a well-built Shenhe can reach 4,500 attack. She can turn a 20k cryo hit into a 40k hit instantly. She is the core engine behind burst-style cryo compositions and the only support who can provide such massive cryo amplification, but she demands a DPS who can cash in those feathers efficiently. Moving from cryo-engineering to botanical destruction, we enter Nilou's territory, the queen of dance and the queen of absolute niche gameplay. She is the character who restricts your team building the most. Her entire niche is being hyper-dedicated to the Bloom reaction in strict Hydro plus Dendro teams. If and only if your party contains exclusively Hydro and Dendro units, her passive transforms normal Dendro cores into bountiful cores. They explode faster, hit harder, and cover a wider area. Nilou scales almost entirely on HP, and to fully unlock her Bloom damage bonus, you need to push her to around 74,000 HP. She's not here to deal personal damage. Her job is to turn your team into an AoE bomb factory. She's extremely niche because she must be played with 2 Hydro and 2 Dendro supports, no Pyro, no Cryo, no Electro. But inside this rigid setup, she delivers some of the most consistent and effortless AoE DPS in the entire game. Finally, to wrap up this entire ranking, we end with 2025's most experimental pick, Emilie. If Diluc is the Phoenix, then Emilie is the slow-burning fuse. Her niche is being a burning-based Pyro DPS who doesn't scale with Elemental Mastery, which is completely absurd for that reaction. Her kit is triggered by the burning reaction, Pyro plus Dendro, but her actual personal damage, the part that matters, scales purely on attack. She's designed for teams where burning acts as the condition to activate a massive attack buff on her own strikes. This gives her a double requirement: a Dendro support to keep burning active, and a classic crit DPS build, attack percent, crit rate, crit damage for Emilie herself. It's an extremely niche playstyle because burning is one of the most unstable reactions in the game. But if you master the timing and elemental application, Emilie unlocks a level of personal Pyro DPS that few supports or sub-DPS units can ever match. She's the character for players who want to explore the Pyro/Dendro ecosystem far beyond the usual Vaporize and Melt meta. And there you have it, travelers, the top 7 Ultra-Niche builds that can rival the 2025 meta while bringing real strategic value to your gameplay. We explored Diluc's Plunging Build, Escoffier's unwavering support, Faruzan's hyper-specific buffing, Chiori's double-doll trick, Shenhe's quantum cryo amplification, Nilou's HP-powered Bloom factory, and Emilie's attack-based pyrotechnics. Each one demands careful investment, but in return, they offer unique strategies that standard meta teams simply can't replicate. And if you decide to try out any of these builds, let us know in the comments. Which niche character are you finally taking out of storage? If you enjoyed this deep dive into Teyvat's hidden tech, make sure to drop a like. It helps the channel more than you think. Subscribe and ring the bell. We're already preparing more off-meta guides that are going to shake up Teyvat. See you next time, and happy farming for those niche artifact sets.